I think we need to step back a little bit from sort of the political haze over all of this to say, first of all, what is the problem? And then, two, what is the solution, if
give an
any?
answer to that, that'd be impressive.
So, I mean, when I hear people talking about, oh, let's regulate them like a utility, I think, well, whoa, why? I mean, I don't get that at all. I mean, there are two major kinds of problems. There's the fake news, the fake, the non-existent person, the interference issue, and then there's the privacy issue where people are concerned about, using the data. The data thing.
And then there's the First Amendment issue or the bias issue about how, in fact, these algorithms are working. That's going to be taken up today in a very big way.
How's the First Amendment? I mean, it's a private.
But you're hearing the President Trump, say specifically it is that issue. More than any other, more than any of the, more than the privacy issue, more than political rigging, anything else that has the president now talking about regulation. It's actually very interesting in terms of, we were talking earlier, the idea of Democrats on one side historically who've liked to regulate things, Republicans on the other who've historically not, now deciding they want to regulate on one issue, Democrats want to regulate on the other.
Yeah, but maybe you're talking about Trump, but most Republicans are not talking about regulation. They're all talking about a light hand. The ones I saw recently. Who have you seen say they want to have regulation, other than Trump's
Except when it comes to terrorist posts, because there's also a national security issue here as well.
I mean, which Republicans, just watching the hearing, this listening, I haven't seen anyone but Trump say that they accept. Most of them want a really light hand. The guy you had on earlier said that the one free and open, where innovation has gone. So you heard him, that you had the Republican on. Right. He wasn't calling for regulation. Which ones are you talking about?
Well, Andrew, let's put content into the fake news issue. That's all substance and content. Then there's privacy, just to make it simpler, two broad issues. Regulating content is an incredible quagmire. I mean, whether you say it's a First Amendment model or not, the business model for them has been to deliver the results that the users want.
Hands off, right.
And their algorithms are completely aimed at making it a better user experience. If regulators start going in and try to change that, then A, I don't understand how that serves anybody's interests other than theirs, and B, it doesn't really have that much effect on their business model. I mean, depending on what they do, I don't think people are going to stop using Google because the government is, saying, oh, you have to get a certain number of these kinds of
Although it would
results.
Open the black box.
But I think it's a dreadful idea. I think it's a terrible idea. The government clearly doesn't know how to do this. They barely, as we heard last time, they barely know how the internet works. So I kind of shudder at the idea of them stepping into that. But I will say that I don't see that having a huge impact on the business model. The privacy issue is, I think, a bigger concern for them because data is the heart of their business. The use of data, the matching of the data to advertisers, using the data to serve advertiser needs. That is key.
If they can't sell you, how are they going to make money?
Exactly.
Becomes the question. Although those big companies, when you ask them about that, say it's fine. We're already dealing with the EU regulations that went into place this year, and we can work that way. Their argument is it'll hurt the smaller guys. What do you say to that?
Well, I think there's some truth to that. I think the EU model is probably about as far as anyone would want to push in that direction. And what I think is interesting is a lot of people don't care. They're not opting. They're not saying, oh, you can't use my data for anything. They actually like getting the targeted ads.
Although we did see Facebook have to bring down its growth expectations as a result.
Oh, there's no question.
That came as a surprise to Wall Street.
That may be. I think there's no question it's not good for them. I mean, they'd be much better off if they could use everybody's data. But I don't think it's the end of the world. But that is the bigger threat, I feel.
One of the things I find absolutely fascinating, ironic right now, is that because of what's happening in Europe, regulators and companies in California are having to rethink what they're doing. And it's almost a mirror image of what happened in the auto sector earlier, when essentially you had Californian regulators setting the standards for German car makers. There's tremendous irony. It's a kind of unexpected consequence of a globalized world. And it's going to be very interesting to see the degree to which the US tech companies can keep their operations in the US separate from what's happening in Europe, where the standards are being tightened all the time.
Do you think advertisers will ultimately step up? Because that's always been, I mean, from a market-based solution, if the head of P&G said, look, we're not going to advertise on Twitter anymore. We're not going to advertise on Facebook unless they do X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely. I think they are going to respond to that. And that maybe we'll see some of that. I think what we still need to see is, can they really respond to it? I mean, part of what they've been saying is we're trying, we're doing research on this. I don't know. I don't think we know yet just how hard they've been trying, as opposed to fine-tuning their algorithms, how hard they've been working to try to ferret out some of this. But technologically, this is really challenging, and especially if you're trying to weed out all the hate speech that may be from real people, the hate speech that's from fake people. Yeah. Once you start going down that path, that's an enormous challenge. Yeah.